I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Indonesia to introduce an address by the head of state.
Mr. President, Excellencies, I have the honor to introduce the pre-recorded statement by His Excellency Jokowi Widodo, President of the Republic of Indonesia, at the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly. His Excellency President Joko Widodo.
His Excellency, President of the UN General Assembly, His Excellency UN Secretary General, distinguished leaders of the member countries of the United Nations, this year marks the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. 75 years ago, the UN was born so that a great war, the Second World War, will not happen again. 75 years ago, the UN was also established to create a world that is more peaceful, stable, and prosperous. Because war will benefit no one. There is no point of celebrating victory among ruins. There is no point of becoming the largest economic power in the midst of a sinking world. Mr. President, in this 75th anniversary of the UN, we must ask ourselves, have we succeeded in creating the world that we dreamed of? I believe all of us will have the same answer, not yet. Conflicts are still happening all over the world. Poverty and even hunger are still suffered by many. The principles of the UN Charter and international law are often neglected, including respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. All of us are concerned with the situation. Our concern grew even deeper in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. At a time when we ought to unite and work together to tackle the pandemic, what we see instead is one of deep division and growing rivalries. Whereas in fact, we must unite and always promote a win-win approach in building relations among states that is mutually beneficial. We all understand the tremendous impacts of the pandemic, both on health and the social economy. We're also aware that the virus knows no boundaries. No one is safe until everyone is. If division and rivalries continue to persist, then I am concerned that the pillars of stability and sustainable peace will crumble or even destroyed. A world peace, stable and prosperous, becomes more and more difficult to attain. Excellencies, this year Indonesia also celebrates the 75th anniversary of its independence. It has always been our commitment Indonesia will continuously contribute to world peace as mandated by our Constitution. Indonesia will continue to play a role as bridge builder, as part of the solution. Consistently, this commitment is continuously upheld, including throughout Indonesia's membership at the UN Security Council. The spirit of cooperation will continue to be promoted by Indonesia, the spirit which provides mutual benefits to all parties and leave no country behind. No one, no country should be left behind. The respect for equality was also emphasized by Indonesia's founding father, Bung Karno, during the Asia-Africa Conference in Bandung in 1955, that gave birth to the Bandung Principles. Until now, the Bandung Principles are still relevant, including in peaceful settlement of disputes, promotion of cooperation, and respect for international law. Palestine becomes the only country attending the Bandung Conference that until present has not enjoyed its independence. Indonesia consistently supports Palestine to gain its rights. In our region, along with other ASEAN member countries, Indonesia continues to maintain Southeast Asia as a peaceful, stable, and prosperous region. On its 53rd anniversary, on 8th of August of 2020, ASEAN reaffirmed its commitment to continue maintaining peace and stability in the region. The same spirit of cooperation and peace was put forward by Indonesia to a wider region, the Indo-Pacific region, through the ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific. Excellencies, against this current global situation, allow me to convey a few thoughts. First, the UN should continue to improve itself through reforms, revitalization, and efficiency. The UN needs to prove that multilateralism delivers, especially during the time of crisis. The UN needs to be more responsive and effective in tackling global challenges, and all of us bear the responsibility to further strengthen the UN so that the UN remains relevant and contributive in keeping with the challenges of time. The UN is not a mere building in the city of New York. Rather, it represents an ideal and shared commitment of all nations to realize world peace and prosperity for our future generations. Indonesia has an unwavering faith in the United Nations and multilateralism. Multilateralism is the only way that could guarantee equality. Second, collective global leadership has to be strengthened. We're all aware that when it comes to relations among countries in international relations, every country always protects their national interests. However, we must not forget that all of us have the responsibility to contribute to be part of the solution for peace, stability, and prosperity of the world. This is where the UN should play a role to strengthen collective global leadership. The world needs the spirit of collaboration and a stronger global leadership to create a better world. Third, cooperation in tackling COVID-19 must be strengthened in terms of the health aspects as well as the socio-economic effects. Vaccine will be the game changer in the war against the pandemic. We need to work together to ensure that all countries have equal access to a safe vaccine with affordable price. In the long term, the management of a resilient global health system needs to be further improved. The resilience of global health system based on national health resilience will determine the future of our world. From the economic perspective, the gradual reactivation of economic activities needs to start by correcting the shortcomings of our global supply chain today. Reactivation of the economy must prioritize the health of all citizens of the world. A healthy world, a productive world, needs to be our priority. All of these will only be achieved if all of us continue to work together, and work together. Let us solidify our commitment and consistently carry out our commitment to work together. That is all from me. I thank you.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Indonesia for the statement just made. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Peru to introduce an address by the head of state.